Hey, what's up everybody, Nexel here. Today we are playing Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, and we're going to be talking about the new Kingdom Hearts III Namine medal that should be dropping at 12 a.m. PST tonight. But before that, I just wanted to say Happy Halloween to everyone that celebrates it. It is still currently October 31st where I'm at, so I hope you're having a great Halloween. I hope you're giving out some good candy to trick-or-treaters, and I hope it's all just a good time. But let's talk about something that's actually pretty spooky. So we have the new Kingdom Hearts III Namine medal that is dropping again tonight at 12 a.m. PST, and this thing is absolutely ridiculous. Like, honestly, I think it might be the best medal that's out right now. But anyways, let's talk about the two new banners that Kingdom Hearts III Namine is bringing to us. So the first banner is going to be a strictly VIP banner. It is going to give you 4 Kingdom Hearts 3 medals every time you draw. It's going to give you 1 trait medal for Kingdom Hearts 3 Namine. And then on the 10th draw, you're going to guarantee yourself 1 copy of Kingdom Hearts 3 Namine. On top of that, you're going to get 3 power gems as well as 30 VIP coins per pull. Now that is a really good deal. Keep in mind that, again, if you draw into Kingdom Hearts 3 Namine early, so let's say you get it on the 5th pull as opposed to the 10th pull, the counter resets and you have to do another 10 pulls. So if you get her on the 5th one, you still have to do another 10 to get a second copy, as opposed to doing 5 pulls and then needing to do 5 more, and that gets you 2 Namines. That's not how it works. So just remember, it resets the minute that you hit the Namine. Now, looking at the normal banner, you have a 1 of 3. So we're back to the thing where you can get potentially the one that you want or 2 other ones that you might not want. So for the free-to-play banner, you're going to be getting 2 Kingdom Hearts 3 medals with every pull. You are going to be getting a trait medal for Kingdom Hearts 3 Namine. And then on the 10th pull, you're guaranteed either Kingdom Hearts 3 Namine, Kingdom Hearts 3 Kairi B, or Kingdom Hearts 3 Xion B. Now, regardless of which banner you pull, you are going to be getting the first one for free. You get 1 free pull, and that's this first time free thing that they have displayed right here. So if you buy VIP, you're getting 2 free pulls. If you don't buy VIP, you're getting 1 free pull. But free pulls are free pulls. You can get lucky and potentially hit the Kingdom Hearts 3 Namine very early on, and that would be pretty broken. So this is all just talking about the new medal, that it's going to have the avatar board, and then there's going to be a Moogle shop thing where you can buy traits. You can exchange VIP coins for traits in the avatar board. But instead, I just made this little graphic that's going to be making it a little bit easier for my eyes and hopefully for you to follow this along. So Kingdom Hearts 3 Namine has a maximum strength of 37,079, which is really high. This thing has a strength that is pretty much higher than foretellers. The fact that it can have a higher strength than foretellers makes it really broken. It hits all enemies, and it has a multiplier of 18.96. Keep in mind that second form Sora has a multiplier of 17.8. So this thing already has a higher multiplier than second form Sora. It has a higher strength value than some of the foretellers. This thing is ridiculous. And it hits all enemies. So now we're going to talk about the buffs of this medal. This medal gives all medals after it plus 2,000 strength. It doesn't matter if the medal's upright, reverse, power, speed, magic. It doesn't matter. This is going to give it strength. This is a mechanic that we've seen on Kingdom Hearts 3 Xion B, I believe. I gotta double check that, but we've seen it on Supernova plus Ava, where no matter what the medal is that comes after, it is gonna get strength from the activation of this special attack. The medal also gives pretty much perfect buffs. It's pretty much perfect. So it gives you 15 general strength, 15 power, speed, magic strength, 15 upright strength, and 15 reverse strength. That is perfect. Keep in mind that in past medals, when we've gotten new buffers, it was usually Kairi had all the upright buffs and Xion had all the reverse buffs. Now they rolled it all into one medal. Now Kingdom Hearts 3 Namine gives you both upright and reverse, covering you for pretty much any Keyblade. It could be Diamond Dust, it could be Counterpoint, it could be 3 Wishes, it could be Fenrir, it could be Darknot. It doesn't matter what Keyblade you're putting this on, because it gives you perfect buffs pretty much, and then gives you plus 2,000 metal strength to everything that comes after it. On top of that, there is the nice little bonus where it gives the special attack bonus of all metals plus 200, which isn't super relevant right now just because there are a lot of supernova attacks that give like plus 250% or plus 280%. So the plus 200 is just a nice little consistency thing. Now, keep in mind for that all metal strength plus 2000, if you have extra attack on this metal, it gives all metals that come after it plus 4000 strength every turn. Every turn. And I actually forgot to put this in this actual little notice here. It costs 0 gauges. So no matter what, if you have extra attack, that activation is pretty much 100% guaranteed to go off because you don't spend any gauges on the first cast, so it's going to guarantee that you have enough gauges for the second one. So super broken if you're able to get this thing with extra attack. Moving on to the debuffs, again, it does pretty much almost perfect debuffs. I don't know how this could get any better. It gives minus 15 general defense, minus 15 PSM defense, minus 15 upright defense, and minus 15 reverse defense. The only way that this could be better is if the metal actually numerically lowered the defense of the enemy. I just don't know how this could be any more perfect unless it was overwrite. If it was overwrite, insta broken, just instant broken. But it is increasing, so it increases your strength or it decreases the enemy's debuffs. So just keep that in mind because we're going to be talking about that a little bit later. This thing has a nasty toolkit of increasing counters by 2. So it doesn't matter if the enemy has a red counter or a blue counter, this thing is going to increase the count by 2 for either of those enemies. It gives you maximum HP recovery. So at the beginning of your turn, if you cast this thing, you're instantly starting off with max HP. And that was one of the problems that we discussed with Supernova plus Envy, is that while she was able to buff you for 0 gauges, she was not able to heal you every single turn, meaning that Envy was more of an attacking metal and sort of like this actually like attack buffer hybrid. But this thing covers it. It's a buffer with high strength that gives metal strength down the line to all metals. So, and it heals you. And on top of that, it restores 5 gauges, which is really good because that just allows you to set yourself up for later down the line. If you start your Keyblade setup with this, you're guaranteeing pretty much 5 gauges right off the bat. With extra attack, you're restoring 10 gauges as opposed to 5. So that's super good. And then it heals all status ailments. So let's say that you are inflicted with paralysis, and then you activate this metal special attack, boom, that paralysis is gone and you don't need to worry about it anymore. So super broken how it's pretty much a heal, buffer, attacker. It's got all this stuff rolling for it. It's super, super crazy. Moving on to the Supernova attack, it gives all metals for the turn, because remember, Supernovas only last 1 turn. It gives them plus 5,000 strength. It doesn't matter. Again, doesn't matter if it's upright, reverse, power, speed, magic. It doesn't matter. It is going to give plus 5,000 strength to all of those metals. On top of the fact that its regular buff gives plus 2,000, that's 7,000 right off the bat. And then if you have extra attack on this metal, that's plus 9,000 metal strength right off the bat. Plus 9,000 metal strength is pretty much adding an entire metal's worth of strength. Like, I guess more like a third of a metal strength on top of your metal. Like, it's crazy to be adding that much metal strength. The Supernova attack also gives special attack bonus plus 280%. It increases the count plus 5, which again is just super useful tech because let's say you're fighting an enemy, they've only got like 1 count left, and then you're about to hit them with something like a Supernova plus Ava, which decreases count by 1. You activate this metal Supernova attack, boom, brings that count up by 5, and then you are good to keep rolling. The Supernova attack also restores gauges. This thing is just absolutely bonkers in how much utility this metal is going to have. So that is the general rundown of the metal itself. It's honestly like really, really crazy. This thing, I see it as being part of the new meta. I see it as being a cornerstone of how the rest of the game is going to work out from this point onwards. So what do I think about this? Well, first of all, if you're free to play, it might just be a skip, to be honest. So going back to the actual notice itself, the notice says it's a 10-pull mercy, but remember that it's a 10-pull mercy, so that's 30,000, or I'm sorry, not 30,000 because the first one is free, it's 27,000 jewels, and you're only potentially getting a 1 in 3rd chance of what you want. that's really low. Like, that is not what you want to see when you spend 27,000 jewels that you might be getting what you want. That is not what you want to see. So if you're free to play, this might honestly just be a skip. Because if, let's just say you pull the 10 times, and then you end up with Kingdom Hearts 3 Xion B, will you be satisfied spending 27,000 jewels to potentially get that Xion B, as opposed to the Kingdom Hearts 3 Namine, which is really just broken? Like, honestly, it just comes with so much utility in it. So would you be happy with that decision? That's really up to you to decide, but I personally don't think it's worth it, especially if this Kingdom Hearts 3 Namine comes back as a, let's just say it comes back as a 10 Mercy pull for a Black Friday sale. So you don't know what comes ahead, so you don't want to waste all your jewels right now just to have this medal a little bit early if you can save for a Mercy later down the line. If you're VIP, I think it's worth it. I think this medal is going to be crazy. Like, this thing literally sets the bar for what the new set of buff is going to look like, because this thing alone covers reverse, upright, general strength, PSM strength. So as opposed to the Kairis and the Xions in the past, where it's either the Kairis covered upright, the Xions covered reverse, this thing covers both of them. So it's just really, really crazy to have that all rolled into one medal. So if you're VIP, I would really highly consider getting this. And if you buy VIP this week, so let's just say you haven't bought it yet, remember that VIP this week comes with a crazy Moogle shop setup where you can get extra attack, ground, aerial, and a strength trait. That's pretty much just saying, hey, if you buy VIP this week, you can pretty much guarantee yourself almost perfect traits on a medal, really just missing strength plus 1,000. So if you buy VIP this week, you can snag Namine, and you could snag those traits from the Moogle shop. It's going to be super, super crazy if you're able to do that. Or if you already bought VIP, you're already set to go buy this medal and spend only, again, 27,000 jewels in order to get that first copy. So I would really consider it if you're VIP, regardless of if you're VIP or pay to play. I'm sorry, regardless of if you're VIP or free to play, I would definitely wait it out a little bit, because something seems very, very off about this. So moving on to the other parts where I think I want to talk about whether or not you should pull. So talking about whether or not I think you should pull, they're not even trying to hide that this thing is crazy. This thing is broken. It's a buffer. It's an attacker. It gives all medals after that. Pretty much it gives them strength. So it's like, this is the new buffer that I feel like is going to set, again, the standard for the game when it comes to buffing. Again, it covers for both upright and reverse. So that's just really crazy already. This thing is pretty future-proof. It's pretty future-proof because it gives you buffs. It increases count. There's very little downside to this medal. It heals you. It restores gauges. Like, I could just keep going on and on. Again, I'm going to pull up the little picture here. This thing does so much rolled into one medal that it's hard to ignore how good this thing is. It's really, I think it's really pretty future-proof. If you pick up this medal now, it's going to last you a long, long time unless they change the mechanics of the game. They have to change the mechanics of the game in order to make this medal not good. Like, they have to add a new buff. They have to do something in order to make this Namine not look as good, because on paper right now, it looks really crazy. And VIP, remember that there is no guarantee that we're going to get another Mercy pull for this. So while I said there might be a Black Friday deal for it, there's no way to guarantee that. They could pretty much throw this as a falling price banner that has no guarantee. That might be a move they make. So if you're able to get it now and you're VIP, I would really heavily consider getting this just to future-proof yourself. Because remember, the things that make a medal broken is how long is that medal going to last? Is it going to last a long time? Is it only going to last until like the next high score challenge? And buffers can withstand the test of time. Looking back to Kingdom Hearts 3 Kairi A and HD Xion, those are tier 8s that we still use in today's format because the amount of buffing that they give you is absolutely nuts. So buffers, remember, go a long, long way, and this thing's a buffer mixed with an attacker. So talking more about Kingdom Hearts 3 Namine, this thing has amazing matchups. There's very few enemies where you're not able to use this medal. So the two enemy groups that I was able to think of is enemies that do power absorption, because it's just going to heal itself off of the Namine, but that's not too much of a problem because you can activate the Namine, heal up the enemy a little bit, and then have the rest of your medals downstream just lay waste to that enemy. So power absorption is kind of a thing, but you can also get around it. And then the last thing is enemies that reflect upright and power. So if there's any mix of that in the enemy group and you cast this medal, because it gives you so many buffs, it's going to reflect that damage back to you, and you're probably going to get knocked out just because of how much sheer damage this medal is able to crank out. So those are the two groups of enemies where I feel like this is really not going to be super beneficial. But again, it just fits in so many other places. It increases count, so you don't have to worry about count at all. That does kind of hurt recovery buffing a little bit, but again, it gives you options is the big thing. So it just has such great matchups. It fights against a lot of different Heartless very, very well. It's able to restore your buffs in the middle of your turn, which is super, super crucial for certain missions. So think about it this way. You're fighting an enemy group, and then you just see that Barrier Master chilling off on the side. You're fighting like some super big Heartless, like a Gummy Hound. You're fighting an Ogre. You're fighting like a Golem, something like a Gear Golem, something like that. And then you see that little Barrier Master that's just waiting for you to knock it out, so it can completely erase all your buffs and give the enemy perfect defense buffs. So when you have this Namine later on, and then you activate it, you restore all your buffs. So you knock out the Barrier Master, you lose all your buffs, you activate the Namine, it does damage, and it restores your buffs. That's crazy. That's absolutely nuts. So this is good for things like Gula, because remember in the Keyblade War fight, one of the biggest problems we had fighting Gula is that after the third attack on your Keyblade setup, Gula counterattacks you and dispels you, so you lose all your buffs. So if you put this Namine on the fourth slot, boom, all those buffs come back. You've got some HP restoration, so all medals that are reliant on you having max HP, those are at the max multiplier. You have gauge restoration, so if you need gauges to activate those medals later on, gauge restoration's good. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts having all this rolled into one medal. I'm going to keep saying that until it really gets stuck in people's head that it's actually pretty broken. This medal even makes an amazing raid medal. Now, this is pretty high level stuff, but essentially for raid medals, you want medals that do high amounts of damage and only hit once. And Kingdom Hearts III Namine only hits once, and it has a high attack power and a high multiplier. So this thing is a buffer. It's an attacker. It's a raider. It has so many good aspects to it that I really think that there's something wrong with them releasing this medal, to be perfectly honest. Like I said earlier, we don't know if this will come back as a Mercy, so just keep that in mind. I nailed it down like twice, but it's a 10 VIP Mercy, 10 pull VIP Mercy right now. We don't know if it's going to be that way in the future. We don't know if it's going to be a falling price banner that has no Mercy. We don't know if it's going to be a Mercy at all. So what we can guarantee right now is that if it's a Mercy now, you might want to get it now. So just keep that in mind. But if you're free to play, remember, 27,000 jewels, potentially not getting Kingdom Hearts III Namine, I just don't think that trade-off is worth it. Because if it ever comes back for a 10 Mercy pull that's free to play, boom, done, easy. You saved the jewels and you're able to pull for it then. So keep that in mind. Let's see. If you have Kingdom Hearts 3 Kyrie A with extra attack, you're still in a good spot. So if you're free to play, you don't want to roll on this medal because, again, you could potentially be getting the wrong medal, either Kingdom Hearts 3 Xion B or Kingdom Hearts 3 Kyrie B. Kingdom Hearts 3 Kyrie A with extra attack is still going to give you really good coverage. If it has extra attack, it's going to give you pretty much perfect buffs. It is able to heal you 20 gauges, which is actually better than the Namine, which only heals you 10 gauges with extra attack. So Kyrie A restores twice as many gauges as Namine, giving you a little bit more of a leeway if, like, let's just say you're a newer player and you have a bunch of medals that cost 6 gauges and you put like attack boost 11 max on them. Being able to restore those gauges is pretty vital, because even if you have Namine, if you can't activate the rest of your medals, you're missing out on a lot of damage. So Kingdom Hearts 3 Kyrie A or HD Xion with extra attack restores enough gauges for you to really not have to worry about your entire setup afterwards. Talking about this banner in relationship to the Second Form Sora banner, which is still out, Second Form Sora's banner is still really good for just a lot of reasons. Free to play, 5 Mercy pull, it gives you 30 traits for 300 jewels in the Moogle shop. That alone is a lot of value. You're spending 15,300 jewels for pretty much what's almost going to be a perfect medal. There's no 1 in 5 chance, no 1 in 3 chance, no risk. The only risk you're taking is potentially not getting all perfect traits within 35 trait rolls, but the chances of that are pretty low. At the very least, you're likely to end up with an almost perfect, if not perfect, medal. So That's something I want to nail down, is that the second form Sora banner is still good. It was not a bait banner for Kingdom Hearts 3 Namine. It's a really good medal regardless, so I just want to nail that down. If you're passing content without Kingdom Hearts 3 Namine, that's fine. If you don't need this medal, then you don't need to get it. Don't go buying VIP just to get this medal, because even though I only recommend it for VIP players to buy and roll for it, I still think that if you're passing things, there's no real need to worry about it. If you want to get this for the Keyblade War, remember that's going to be around forever. So there's no real reason to desire to pull for this right now. Really, if you're pulling for it right now, it's to future-proof yourself. Or if you're like me, it's to give yourself an actually good power medal. So just keep that in mind, that if you're passing stuff just fine, you don't need to go running off spending your jewels if you don't need to. But I do think this is going to be future-proof, so weigh out the pros and cons. I know there are some people that only want to pull when it's going to help them pass something, but future-proofing is also pretty important in my personal opinion. Let's see. So the last thing I want to say about if I think you should pull, no matter what position you're trying to fill, as long as the enemy doesn't have power damage reflection or upright metal reflection, this metal is going to take care of you. This thing is really crazy. It's really, really good. Like, almost ridiculously good how much they rolled into this metal. It makes you kind of concerned. Honestly, it makes me kind of concerned. It makes me kind of feel like something fishy is about to happen. So not only do we want to talk about the metal, but we want to talk about what this metal means. Because for them to drop something like this, everyone realizes it's broken. It doesn't really take a lot of thought to realize that this metal has a lot packed into it that's going to make it really, really good. So what this means to me is that something new is coming. Something crazy is coming. Because somehow, some way, they can't keep this metal relevant forever. They have to do something in order to make this metal not good at some point down the line. So what sort of things do they have to do for this metal? Like, not necessarily make it bad, but there has to be something that this metal fills. You know what I mean? So one thing I thought was there could be a potentially new buff cap. So remember that Kingdom Hearts 3 Kyrie A only gives you plus 12 PSM strength, whereas this thing gives you plus 15 PSM strength. So if they increase the buff cap to 30 as opposed to 15, Namine with extra attack would fill out all your buffs and debuffs, whereas Kingdom Hearts 3 Kyrie A would only get you 30 general strength buffs, 24 PSM buffs, and 14 upright buffs, even with extra attack. So that would make this Namine way better than the Kyrie. So if they increase the buff cap, that Kyrie is going to go to the wayside, and this Namine is going to come right in there. It's just a huge advantage. Remember that the only advantage that Kyrie really has over the Namine is that Kyrie restores 10 gauges versus Namine's 5. That's one of the really big differences. The other big difference is going to be that Kyrie's Supernova attack gives you overwrite buffs. So that's good for just setting yourself up later, making sure that you're able to do damage to the enemy. If you somehow need like all your buffs back and you want to debuff the enemy all at once, Supernova Kyrie A special Supernova attack does that for you, whereas Namine's does not. So another big difference between the two medals. Another thing that they might be doing more often, just because this medal is available, is that they might be having more enemies that counterattack you in the middle of your turn and dispel you. So going back again to the Keyblade War Part 3, where Gula, whenever he hits you, dispels you with his counterattack, we might be seeing a lot more of that, because then it might be more relevant to restore your buffs in the middle of your turn, and that's where Kingdom Hearts 3 Namine is definitely going to come in handy when you have to restore yourself in the middle of your own turn. We also might be seeing multiple groups of enemies that have at least one power reflection enemy. So let's just say you have a group of enemies, like 5 enemies, and one of them is a red gummy saucer. Remember that the red gummy saucers reflect power damage, making it so that you can't just activate this medal willy-nilly, otherwise you're going to get knocked out and then potentially be missing out on completing the quest. So we might be seeing more groups of enemies that have power reflection, or upright reflection, or power absorption, upright absorption, things like that. So honestly, this medal is so good that it makes me think something fishy is happening. It makes me think something is new right around the corner, because this medal is just, it's too good on paper. It honestly is just so good, it's hard to ignore how good this medal is, honestly. This thing is like the spookiest of the boogeymen that are out in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross right now. I'd argue it's probably one of the best medals, if not the best medal in the entire game right now. But again, it just came out today. I might have to do a little bit more thought processing on it. This might not be a fully complete analysis, but as of right now, those are my thoughts. Just to summarize it all up, medal's broken. Medal's crazy broken. It's an attacker, raider, buffer, all rolled into one. It gives that new mechanic of giving medal strength on both its Supernova attack and its regular attack. With extra attack, it gives you plus 4,000. Super crazy stuff. And it's available as a Mercy Pull starting tonight. We don't know if it's coming back later. Keep that in mind, just something to consider as you move through the weeks. So there's just a lot of nutty things about this medal, making it super, super good. I am concerned about what they're going to release as the power creep in response, but we'll have to play it out. Again, going on with our summary, that's what I was doing. I lost track in the middle. Going on with our summary, if you're free to play, don't pull for the 1 and 3. It's just not worth it. The medal could be coming back, and then you'll be out of jewels if you pull for it right now. So just keep that in mind. Don't spend all your jewels just because it's like, oh, this is the new Namine, I have to get it. No, you don't. If you have Kingdom Hearts 2 Kyrie A with extra attack and you're passing content, you're doing just fine. But I think that is all the big stuff that I wanted to nail down. I know it's kind of a lengthy video, but there is a lot to talk about when it comes to new medals that break the game. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you think this medal is as broken as I think it is. As always, if there are any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to drop them down in the comments below, and I'd be happy to answer when I have the time. There is, again, my Discord link that direction. It's in the yellow box right below the medal analysis. And the question for the week is, what is the best costume change in the Kingdom Hearts series in honor of it being a Halloween week? So if you wanted to join, definitely check out that question. Let us know what the best one is. Is it Toy Story Sora? Is it going to be Merman Sora? Is it going to be Lion Sora? Let us know what you think the best costume change is. But with that being said, that's the end of this video. Again, thank you all so much for watching. And now, as always, until next time, take it easy.